It's bad behavior. I don't know. My team support me. Yeah, Usyk. It's a normal when team support your team.
1 or 2 rounds. Like, I'm prepared to go for 10 rounds. If it goes that, it goes that. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But like these fights that I'm going into, I'm not going into them thinking I'm gonna knock him out in the first or second round. I'm going in.
Do you think Usyk's potential? Do you think there is a potential for him to fight Usyk?
Usyk could blow the smoke out. Usyk could kill him.
Oleksandr Usyk didn't even flinch at Moses Itauma's bold claim. I can knock Usyk out in 2 rounds. Usyk brushed it off as nothing more than bad behavior, more street talk than real boxing. That calm, composed response says it all. Moses may talk power, but Usyk lived by discipline, focus, and the mentality of a proven champion.
It's bad behavior first. Enough. Yeah, it's not big about sports. It's like street fight. Yeah. If my man who support me, yeah, I kill you. Boom, boom. Listen, for me, I don't care.
And Moses wasn't finished, doubling down. He claimed his skill set and ring IQ are superior to Usyk's. But here's the reality. He's never even gone the distance. That's the gap. Usyk thrives in the deep waters, dominating the late rounds where pressure and fatigue break opponents apart. Moses may have raw talent, but championship experience is a battlefield he hasn't stepped on yet.
I know any heavyweight has enough force, has enough power, has enough pressure to cause damage to me. So that's why it's just the safest way to not.
Tony Bellew cut straight to the truth. Moses Itauma can talk about knocking out Usyk in 2 rounds, but Bellew warns, it's like throwing a cub to the wolves. Usyk isn't some prospect you test yourself against. He's a master technician, a world champion who thrives under pressure. One reckless step against him, and Moses' hype train could be derailed before it even leaves the station.
I think that's a dreadful fight for Moses Itauma. I just think to throw this kid into the wolves at this stage so early in his career, I just don't get what for. He's a young man, let him develop the same as every other fighter, let him learn his...
Sergey Lapin brushed off the noise, reminding everyone that Oleksandr Usyk is a 3-time undisputed champion who's faced the very best. Moses can shout about 2-round knockouts all he wants, but Lapin made it clear, Usyk eats challenges for breakfast. Talk is cheap, legacy is not.
This guy have more opponent, you know. Not okay. Give me Usyk. Every time, every people who is just win one fight, one good fight. Okay, next Usyk. No problem. No problem for Alex Usyk. You know this guy. This guy 3-time undisputed. 4-time, 5-time. There's no problem.
Russ Amber praised Moses Itauma as one of the best young talents in the game, even calling his skill set special. But let's not forget, this is the same fighter claiming he'd finish Usyk in 2 rounds. That's the hype Amber avoids. Because skill on paper means little when you're facing a man like Usyk, who has dismantled world champions deep into the fight. The real story here is a gap between raw potential and proven greatness.
I think Moses is one of the best young fighters boxing has seen in years. And I'm not just saying that based on a result over deal. You know, I hope you understand that when I look at a fighter, I'm looking at things that others don't see. I'm not looking at the hype. I'm looking at what he does in the ring, how he does it, his skill set. You know, I'm looking at that because that's the important stuff. And right now, to me, he's shown probably a better...
Amir Khan, who knows the fire of the big stage, issued a clear warning. Don't rush Moses Itauma. At just 20 years old, Amir says Moses needs time, experience, and maturity before stepping in with giants like Oleksandr Usyk. And he's right. Moses might talk about a 2-round knockout, but that's not how it works at the elite level. The later rounds are where mental toughness and conditioning decide everything, and Usyk is a master in those deep waters, a place Moses has never even been. Amir's advice echoes what most realists already know. Patience is protection. pushed Moses in too soon, and Usyk could end his hype faster than it started.
You don't want to rush him. You want to take it easy. You want to take it slow. Don't rush him. Let him enjoy. He's still 20 years old. Let him get to 22, 23 years old. That's then you start putting him in with the top names in boxing, like the Usyks and like the Wilders or even the Joshuas and the Furies. At the moment, I think you should keep on building him. Let him keep on winning. Like
Even Anthony Joshua, who knows both men, gave his take on Moses Itauma's rise. AJ gave credit where it's due, calling Moses a phenomenal fighter backed by a strong team. But his words were cautious, not absolute. He admitted Moses might have an edge, but this is the same young fighter boasting he could knock out Usyk in 2 rounds. That kind of talk grabs headlines, but it also screams inexperience. Joshua knows the difference between hype and harsh reality because he's felt Usyk's skill, his relentless pace, and his brilliance in the championship rounds. AJ respects Moses, but respect isn't the same as readiness. A 2-round knockout over a master like Usyk? That's not edge, that's fantasy. The gap between youthful confidence and proving greatness is still wide, and Joshua's careful tone shows even he senses a risk.
I fought Usyk. I think he's a phenomenal fighter, and I think he's got a great team around him, honestly. And you're only as good as your team, but I think he's got a really good team around him. After being in the ring with him and studying him, still studying him now, I think that he's the one to edge it.
As the debate grows, Tony Bellew points out what truly makes Moses Itauma impressive: his maturity, calmness, and sharp ring IQ, rare traits for someone just 20 years old. Those qualities are real. But here's the contradiction. The same calm young fighter is claiming he blasted out Usyk in 2 rounds. Bellew knows better than anyone. Composure and easy wins don't prepare you for the storm of a seasoned champion. Usyk doesn't just test your physical skills, he tests your mental steel across 12 punishing rounds. Moses might stay relaxed against prospects, but against Usyk, that calm could be shattered by pressure, experience, and relentless skill. Bellew sees undeniable talent worth nurturing, but warns the danger lies in hype pushing Moses too far, too soon, especially when he fuels it with bold knockout promises.
The most impressive thing about him is how calm he is. He's got a great array of punches, he's very sharp, he's very accurate, he's exceptionally good. But it's what you can't teach someone like that, and especially at that age, is to remain so calm. He doesn't panic, he doesn't get flustered, he doesn't go head hunting with his chin in the air. He's cool, he's calm, he's relaxed.
Adam Smith called Moses Itauma extraordinary, ticking the boxes with power, a slick southpaw style, and undeniable confidence. But he raised a real question: is this the right time, or far too soon? While Moses is busy promising a 2-round knockout over Usyk, the reality is very different. Usyk is a master of dragging opponents into deep waters, breaking them down round by round until their strengths fade. Moses hasn't even proven himself in those late rounds, let alone against an elite champion. The hype says he's ready, but the experience says not yet. And Smith's uncertainty is a real story, because no one truly knows how good Moses is until he's tested. Against a master like Usyk, that test could come too early, too brutal, and far too costly.
Block Moses Itauma, who looks absolutely extraordinary, and for me, he ticks all the boxes. I like his attitude, I like his style, southpaw, hard-hitting, moves so well. He's going to be very, very difficult to sort of deter. So it's an interesting one because, is this too soon for Moses, or is this just the right fight at the right time?
Johnny Nelson speaks like a veteran of the game. Don't spoil the future by rushing it. He sees Moses Itauma as a potential force in the heavyweight division, a fighter who could dominate once he matures. But that vision clashes with Moses' fiery claim: "I'll knock Usyk out in 2 rounds." That single statement created hype, but it also magnified the risk. Nelson knows how unforgiving boxing can be. One wrong opponent at the wrong time can end a career before it even starts. And Usyk isn't some fading name-chasing paydays. He's a master, a champion who thrives in the late rounds where experience and composure decide everything. Nelson admits we don't yet know Moses' true ceiling, but we do know exactly what Usyk brings: intelligence, movement, stamina, and the ability to dismantle anyone who rushes him. If Moses really is the future, patience is a smarter play. Because if he jumps in too soon, his bold two-round promise could come back to haunt him in devastating fashion.
Spoil potentially another rising heavyweight that can dominate the division. Why spoil it? You think, you know what? Sometimes you've got to lose a battle to win a war. So I'd be a bit smart. And I'm not saying it gets turned over by Usyk because you don't know how good this kid is. What I'm saying is, I just won't do it. It's not a risk because he's the future. Usyk's at the stage where he's probably 1 or 2 fights ready to walk away. Moses is 20 years old, so he's the guy that will actually...
Frank Warren spoke with a cool, measured voice of a promoter who knows the stakes. He admitted there are plenty of good fights available, and that Usyk's next move will be carefully considered. But no matter the options, Moses Itauma's two-round knockout claim has changed the narrative. Fans are buzzing, media is circling, and the hype has made Warren's job more complicated. On one side, he is a golden prospect who sells tickets with every bold word he speaks. On the other, Oleksandr Usyk, a master of the craft, a champion who has seen it all and beaten the very best. Warren knows boxing isn't just about hype, it's about timing. A fight with Usyk could deliver fireworks and headlines, but it could also expose Moses before he's ready. Promoters must balance profit against the risk of ruin, and in Warren's cautious tone, you can hear that hesitation. He'll weigh the options, but deep down, even he knows, throwing Moses into the fire too soon could turn that bold two-round promise into the costliest mistake of his young career.
You go.
There's some good fights to be made. That's a consideration. We'll look at it.
Usyk next.
We're going to sit down. We're not making any decisions tonight. We'll consider all the...
Tyson Fury, never one to stay quiet, declared boxing a young man's game and tipped Moses Itauma to wreck the old men of the division, naming Usyk directly. Classic Fury, stirring the pot and fueling the fire Moses lit with his two-round knockout boast. But here's the truth, Usyk isn't some fading relic. He's a reigning champion, still at the top of his game, still dismantling elite heavyweights with skill, speed, and brilliance. Fury's words are entertaining, but also reckless, because they frame Usyk as beatable when he's anything but. Moses' promise, no doubt, young, strong, ambitious. But youth isn't a free ticket to greatness, and knockout boasts don't prepare you for 12 rounds in Usyk's world. Fury prediction sounds bold, but it's built on hype, not substance. In reality, if Moses steps up too soon, the so-called old man might just hand him a brutal masterclass that rewrites all this talk of wreckage.
It's a young man's game, like I told Vladimir Klitschko when he was 37. Boxing's a young man's game and it waits for nobody. So here's the opinion, you've heard it here first. Moses Itauma will wreck all them old men out of the division. Usyk, AJ, Miller, whoever there is who's old, Zhang, whoever else there is, Luis Ortiz, all these big names of the past are all a spent force. And even the world champion now, if they took my belts and give them to Usyk, Moses will wreck him.
Amir Khan brought the conversation back to earth with another call for patience. He doubled down on his message. Patience is key. Don't rush Moses Itauma into fights he isn't ready for. He's just 20 years old. Let him grow. Let him learn. Let him reach 22 or 23 before facing giants like Usyk. And that advice hits even harder when stacked against Moses' bold promise. I'll knock Usyk out in 2 rounds. Khan knows the pitfalls of being fast-tracked, of feeling the heat of big nights too soon, and he knows the cost. Moses may look composed and have raw skills, but you can't fake experience in the late rounds against elite opposition. That's where Usyk thrives, calm, tactical, relentless, exposing gaps Moses hasn't even discovered in himself yet. Khan isn't downplaying Moses' talent, he's protecting it. The hype is exciting, but the danger is real. Throw Moses in too early, and that 2-round boast could turn into a harsh lesson that derails the future everyone sees in him.
You don't want to rush him. You want to take it easy. You want to take it slow. Don't rush him. Let him enjoy. He's still 20 years old. Let him get to 22, 23 years old. And that's then you start putting him in with the top names in boxing, like the Usyks and like the Wilders or even the Joshuas and the Furies. At the moment, I think you should keep on building him. Let him keep on.
Oleksandr Usyk versus Moses Itauma isn't just a clash of styles. It's a battle of eras. On one side stands Usyk, the master craftsman, a champion who thrives under pressure, dismantling opponents in the late rounds with skill, patience, and unshakable composure. On the other side is Moses, the fearless 20-year-old who's rocked the boxing world with one bold declaration: I can knock Usyk out in 2 rounds. That single statement has fueled hype, divided fans, and created a narrative too big to ignore. If Usyk wins, it proves again that experience, discipline, and championship mentality crush youthful bravado. But if Moses delivers, it will be one of the most shocking upsets in modern boxing, a young lion toppling the pound-for-pound king in brutal fashion. The question is simple: who's mentally stronger? Who wants it more? And who survives when the lights are brightest? Are you backing Usyk's proven greatness? Or do you believe Moses Itauma can shock the world,